Hey there YouTube, I'm Yukitsu, this is Yukitsu Times. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to a little bit of Surviving Mars for our way too in-depth tutorial. So we've got a meteor shower starting up here, and this is happening up here as you can see. This has never happened in a first run on top of my base ever, essentially. There are a couple other elements to meteor showers that are kind of interesting in that they can generate small amounts of science. I've seen basically up to 3. It might be possible for them to drop more. I've also seen them drop 0, so there is a chance that you'll get a meteor shower and not get anything. I find it most common to get 1 or 2 bits of science off of them, but getting 3 possible. Theoretically I can see getting 4, but I've never actually had it happen. You can also get science from just very random meteor strikes. The other good thing about meteor strikes is that they also do produce a little tiny bit of metal. Now the downside is that they also tank my CPU or whatever for whatever reason. So I'm gonna have to sort of cut the video here and come back to you once the meteor shower is over. We'll see if we get any science off of this particular one. If you don't, you can always save scum them if you really want to. You can also save scum their location, but I generally find you don't need to because your first few are pretty much never going to be on top of your head. Ooh, adaptive probes. Alright, let's grab that. And then Mars crowdfunding. There's lots of good stuff here, actually. Alright. So, yeah, like, what we're trying to do at this point in time is focus mainly on getting our colony ready for its first set of inhabitants. That's going to be coming pretty soon in this rocket once we send it away. So that is all pretty good. We've got a supply rocket that we've got just landed on Earth, so we're going to go ahead and cargo rocket this up. This one's going to come with a drone hub moisture vaporator, just to sort of set us up into a good spot for a little bit later. Gonna bring some more food along here, another 35 units of it, and then more polymers, machine parts, electronics. We'll sort of see how we can go with that sort of stuff there. I think we'll go with that sort of ratio. So that's basically going to be all the room that we've got in this particular one. Let's go ahead and launch it. And of course, we're going to launch this one as soon as we can. It's going to come back with the colonists, and that's all pretty much as well and good as that can really be. I get the feeling like I'm probably not going to get very much science out of this one, just because of the location of this sort of thing. What happens is it has to land in a spot that's capable of supporting a drop there, so it has to be flat, so you can have something spawn on top of it. So anytime it hits like a cliffside here or something like that, then it's incapable of generating science. You can see that most of them are landing on the ground though, and they're still not producing anything. So we might just be unlucky here and just get a meteor shower that has 0 science in it, but we might get lucky at the last few hits there and get 1 or 2 science at the last minute. Sometimes that happens as well. So like this one I don't think is ever going to produce science there. These ones around here might. That one, you know, good chance. Because these are very open spaces. That's what it really comes down to, is if it hits in an open space, it can produce metal, it can produce polymers, it can produce science, are the things that I've seen meteors produce. It would be interesting if they could make electronics. I would also like it if they could produce rare metals at some ratio. I've never seen one drop a rare metal though, so it might be possible. It's just rare enough that it hasn't happened for me. Although I don't think asteroids are actually supposed to be composed of anything that's super dense. I think they're supposed to be fairly basic elements. Well, either way, actually, I guess we're just gonna watch the entire meteor shower because my like we've gotten through half of it. We might as well see if there's anything good going on. There's not a ton that we're actually doing with our base right now anyway. We do just have to essentially wait. That's what we're basically doing. There are periods in this game where I think that the waiting could be sort of mitigated a little bit. I think that's an error in a lot of construction type games where you build stuff where they sort of have this assumption that you want to start from absolutely nothing, and then you know you have to sort of slowly inch your way forward till you've got the ability to generate certain resources, and it takes an awfully long time. I think that to a certain degree, like that phase is boring, but then again, that's also why I advocate for playing this game as the International Mars mission. If you're just trying to build, if you're actually trying to build things, because then you can sort of avoid a lot of this waiting, since I'd have extra rockets, and that would be pretty helpful for avoiding this. How are you doing here? 54 out of 60, okay, so just about. And this one's at just about landed here. Now mind you, the moisture vaporator is not super important as far as it doing anything, but let's go ahead and land that there. And actually upgrade this thing as well while we're at it. Yeah, there we go, finally. Okay, so we got one science drop from these. Hopefully it's a 1,500. I think that's generated as you scan it, so you can also save scum those, but I don't really feel like you need to. So yeah, only a little bit of duration left. Hopefully we get another one. If we're really lucky, suddenly we'll get two, but odds of that are looking pretty low for this particular set of rockets. This one's ready to go, so let's go ahead and launch it, or set of asteroids. Drone heavy load there, yeah, so it's probably because there's we lost a drone controller, but that's fine. Oh yeah, that takes a lot more electricity. I need to build a little bit more wind turbines here. Oops. We'll eventually be doing a few... Well, actually no, because I've got nocturnal, so I might want to actually have people working at night. Even though it's really bad for morale, I'd have to do something to make sure that morale is really, really high before I did that. But if you got plus 20 productivity at nighttime, that's actually pretty powerful. Alright, so... yeah, we're definitely looking like we're only getting one science out of this. Only a few hours of this left. Real shame. Just sort of watching, waiting, praying kind of thing, but it's like, please rain science down from the heavens, which makes no sense, but you know. Well, yeah, 0 hour. Last two are our last hope. Nope. Right. Well, let's go ahead and explore that. Yeah, if it's in a more open area, that becomes much easier to have it yield things for you, but... Ooh, this stuff's actually out of the range of my drone control. Got this as a drone controller, though, so... that should be okay for a little while, but... let's go ahead and actually add a drone hub over here. I probably want to get even another drone hub then if I'm going to be doing that. This one still does reach to that concrete, though, so that's all I really, really need. And then we'll also want to go ahead and get a moisture vaporator input.
Sector scanned.
Just barely there. Okay, so we should be ready for our set of colonists here. So we'll see what that's looking like once we get there. Oh shit. I'm going to send this back before it's not going to finish scanning that. I forgot to recharge that thing. It was far enough away that would definitely have died if I let it sort of stay out there. And then I'd have to get a vehicle I didn't really want to get right now, so... since I don't have the money. Alright, let's go ahead and collect up more metal.
Complete.
Soil adaptation, that lets me get the farm here, so let's go ahead and do that. We can go through our buildings as well here. We're going to make it so that only one person at a time can work at a lot of these at these places here. I'm going to actually have that working all day. So other places, we also want to actually make it more likely that people can work here. And over here, we want as many people as possible to be working on the farm. We're going to switch the crop out to soybean, and then potato. And the reason that we're doing this is because if we've got it set to wheat, the wheat's actually pretty bad all around. It doesn't produce very much. The soybeans produce a bunch of crop, and they also produce soil quality increase. The potatoes decrease the soil quality, but they give you like a humongous amount of food. So you can sort of go soybean, potatoes, and end up with soil quality still hovering around 100% there, and gradually increasing regardless, and also producing large amounts of food. Whereas if you've got it set to wheat, you don't consume very many resources, but the optimal harvest is really low, so it's just not a very good crop in this game. I wish there was more reason to use some of these crops here, but as it sort of stands, there really isn't. Gonna go water reclamation there, I think. Okay, so now we've fixed up our RC Explorer. Send you over to there. So let's explain as well what we're doing with our stuff here. What we're going to do is get adaptive probes. This halves the cost of probes, and it allows them to deep scan, which is very important. It lets us rescan things we've already scanned, as well as scan for deep resource pits. which is something we're going to need to make use of. Mars crowdfunding is a quick $1 billion grant. That's actually really, really good for us because it will let us buy a bunch of those adaptive probes. So that combination there is going to be quite important for us. We'll of course also be getting money from just basic teching. So all of that's going to be stuff that we want to have going on for us. Alright, so yeah, it's just a shame that I only got the one science thing. It would have been nice if we got like a dozen or something like that. That would have been, you know, nice. I'm going to start moving some probes over to this side here, I think. This guy's already working, so I can't really do anything about that. Alright, do I need more electricity right now? Got 108 with 70 demand. I think we're okay for the time being, but I'll probably need to build a little bit more later. The hell was that? Anyway, at this point in time, there is the thought of building a second dome, but what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to use a second dome for quite a while here. Your first dome, like, you can't get more people until you've had someone being born here, and this is why we've prioritized the infirmary and stuff like this by making it so that people can work in all 3 slots. By doing that, we make it so that our colony, oops, we can actually send in a passenger rocket now. By doing that, it makes it so that our colony is much more likely to produce people. Let's go ahead and switch this out here. We're going to make it so that no one can come if they're middle-aged. So just adults and youths. For specializations, we're looking for scientists. We're looking for... We don't want any officers right now. We are looking for geologists, botanists, and medics. So the no specialization in engineer we can sort of get later, but for now this is what we kind of want here. For gender, anyone's fine. For perks, if we could get the people who are sexy, that would actually be a really helpful thing there. Workaholics would be quite good. Survivor would be okay, but not really that necessary. Composed would be really good. So let's sort of up-prioritize those sort of things. Religious, we'll sort of up-prioritize that one, actually. It's surprisingly strong in this game. Fit is quite good. Enthusiast is quite good. The rest of these, like, we can sort of leave on, but we don't want to up-prioritize it necessarily. For flaws, we're going to go ahead and just say no flaws. We want to have people who come over here in good condition, and you can see we still have plenty of people who can fit that quality there. Don't want to lose the ability, yeah, so we're still fine for all this. Okay, so yeah, we've got 44 people and 45 people in the pool who qualify under our current little sort of scheme here, and that's going to make it pretty easy to get people that we want. So let's go ahead and launch that. It's going to start heading towards our planet here. Systematic training. At least that one was worth 1,500, so... Oh god, what the hell? Hold on 1 second here.
Don't know if you guys heard that, but audio became really staticky and poppy and really awful, so I'm not sure what that was about, but in any event.
Yeah, so we got our stuff coming in. Hopefully we'll be able to do something about this. It feels like now my audio is not working at all. So that's interesting. But yeah, I have a long history of really weird audio problems. In any event, though, let's hope that we get a good sort of configuration of these things. In any event, let's go ahead and also launch you back home. Hopefully we won't need to send him back too soon, but we'll probably have enough money from... Because I'm pretty sure we've got adaptive probes, and then we get Mars crowdfunding. Once we got both of those, we'll have enough money probably to get a whole bunch of recon probes, deep probes or whatever, and that'll be pretty much what we sort of have to go with here. Yeah, so still sort of disappointed in that asteroid shower. Hopefully we'll get another one that's a little bit better next time. I have seen an asteroid shower being close to my base on the second one, and I think that they could potentially hit your base depending on how you build it. But I've never actually been hit on the second shower. It's usually the third shower that your base starts getting bombarded on. And that's because the ability to defend against it, I think it's coded specifically so that you can't get hit by it too early. Let me go ahead and just build a couple of these here. Alright, but yeah, don't quote me on that, despite the fact that this is the way too in-depth guide. There's certain things that I just cannot get to happen, so I'd have to know if it was hard-coded or not, which is difficult to figure out. Alright, so just about got people landing here. We've got plenty of food for them waiting. They'll have 12 more food to unload once they get here, which is pretty good. I'm actually going to move you over that way. What's this here? Dust accumulated. Gonna move a couple more there. So we've got 12 out of 100 drones on that one, and we've also got 16 drones on this one, so that's not bad as a ratio, actually. That's fine. Alright, let's get our first set of colonists down here, and hopefully we'll be able to get this to work. Sometimes it works out really, really well, like quite quickly, and sometimes this takes a very, very long time to work properly. So let's see how this lands here. Have it land on top of my RC Explorer, just crush it to death. That would be great, by which I mean that would be awful. But here it comes. So yeah, landing on that landing pad is supposed to prevent dust from accumulating on stuff nearby it. But this is the big thing that we have to worry about right now. We have to wait 10 sols, which is basically either 10 years or 10 days. It kind of alternates between both of those before more people are allowed to come on rockets to Mars. However, if we get someone to be born here, we can do it much, much faster, which is why we got the medical clinic set up so that people are going to be working in it right away. So we got our first set of humans moving in here. We can sort of see them heading on out, jumping out with their spacesuits. And they're going to start heading into the front door over here into our colony. And we've now got them working in all these different spots here. We've got one medic, it looks like, which is unfortunate that we don't have more. We've got a bunch of scientists working in the grocery store and in the research lab and probably a bunch of other places. Well, we got some botanists here, that's good. We got a geologist, which is pretty good. So all in all, that's looking pretty okay. The only problem, of course, here is that we got 2 scientists working in the grocer, and then, you know, the diner does have 2 non-specialists, which is pretty nice. So anyway, let's go ahead and give it a quick check here. We've got our colonists here. It has 55 comfort as a requirement, and that's going to be 24/7 that we have that. So hopefully we'll be able to have someone give birth pretty quickly. This guy's hardworking, and he's got high morale, so he's going to be actually really good for us. The comfort is what dictates whether or not we're going to have children or not. And on the first day, it always says that it's not high enough, regardless of what the actual truth is. So our average comfort here is 50. It should be around 50, but all you need is some people to be higher and some people can be lower. And so long as the average doesn't matter, so long as there are some people above 55, which is the number that we're sort of aiming as the target there. As you can see, births threshold 55. So we'll wait till the next day. Once that gets there, we'll be able to know for sure whether or not we can have anyone be born here or not. And we're getting quite a lot more science. We're getting another 136 science from those scientists there, which is pretty good. And at this point in time, we're probably considering getting an apartment block locked in. Maybe we don't worry about that just yet, actually. Yeah, the only problem is that working someone at nighttime actually reduces comfort quite a bit, so having our doctor working at that point in time means he's less likely. So we have 2 males currently that want to have children. We have a building with a depleted deposit, which sucks, but so we'll just go ahead and turn this off here, and then we'll go ahead and get a new concrete extractor. But yeah, we're just going to slowly tick upwards until people are comfortable enough to have children, and that's sort of what we're running for here. And it will happen, it's just a matter of time, and once it does happen, like, once you get to that comfort threshold, it doesn't automatically happen. You sort of have to, like, roll the dice until someone actually does have a kid, which kind of sucks it a little bit. Like, we got 2 males who want children and 1 female who wants children, which is not exactly a great combination. It would be better if this was the other way around. I'm not sure if the game takes that into account, but the thing about this is that we end up in a situation where we're not necessarily getting that sort of role happening. Ooh, 5 males who want children. Again, one female who wants children. I wonder what the ratio is for men and women here. Gender. We got 8 males and 4 females. Okay, so that's not the worst ratio that we could possibly have. I wish it did like an intentional 50-50 split. That would be kind of nice, but whatever. All right, let's Sterling generators, maybe? I don't know. Martian education, actually. Let's take a stab at that. All right, so now we play sort of the waiting game. What happens first? Like, does someone get born here, or do we have, or do we have to wait the entire 10 days? And really, we hope that we're not going to have to wait the whole 10 days, because we can kickstart our colony so much better if we can get another shipment in a lot faster. Let's get that done. Because I would love to move some of our scientists into the science building. Like, that would just be fantastic. I'd love to have more geologists. I would love to have more botanists. And even a couple people who have no specialization would be really fantastic at this point in time, just to fill in those work slots. Some more medics would be great, because the infirmary is not properly staffed. Any of those sort of things there. So, all right, we're up to 7 and 2. So this ratio, if this ratio holds for long enough, we'll be pretty well off. I wish that like the comfort stayed at a threshold of 55, even if there was no one in the medical clinic at nighttime, because realistically speaking, like, you shouldn't have to worry about that like that. But you know, actually no, it kind of does make sense, because if you're gonna go into labor during the night and there's no doctor in the clinic, that would probably piss me off too. So okay. Yeah, so the number jumps around quite a bit as far as like how likely it is to happen and how many people want to do whatever. The way that you do this is you increase the comfort levels in whichever way you can, but there's not a ton of ways for me to increase the comfort levels right now. I'm going to let this go to 2 exports before we do this, before we send that off, but no resources, more sectors with no resources. Great, fantastic. But yeah, I have to wait a little bit until I get this Mars crowdfunding done, which is going to take about another day and a half probably. That'll be a nice cool 1 billion in funding. If it weren't for the fact that there is a time delay on it, you could actually speed through Mars crowdfunding over and over and over again and actually earn money by blitzing it with money spent on research, which is kind of interesting. Up to 7 and 3. 8 and 4, perfect. Okay. So our odds are pretty good that we'll get this done before 10 days, but like I've done it, I've had this happen within 3 days before, but it's so annoying that it's a crapshoot. Like I wish there was more ways to influence it, because right now, like, it's all that tension of, do we have to wait the whole 10 days? Can I get that done faster, please? Or I could force it through with like more comforts, just really going crazy on the comfort buildings and amenities and stuff like that. But the reality is that you'd end up paying way too much for it. And while it is a really good idea to get this done faster, it's not necessarily worth the extreme cost of getting like a casino in a small dome or something like that. Which would help you out as far as that goes, but I'll probably have to wait another entire day before I've got another rare metal. You can actually see how much we've mined in total here. It's been very little. It's one of the more annoying things is how slowly you actually do stuff with that thing, with that particular building. Yeah, we've got a really weird distribution of colonists in this one. All right. So just in case we do get our new colonist fairly soon, what I do want to do is wait until we've got like just one more and then launch this right away. I'll prioritize it actually. So we can see this guy coming in with the bundle. That rare metal. He's going to hop his way in here. Boom. All right, and we can go ahead and launch this, and that's going to earn us about, what, 48 million, I think, or something like that. Not very much, honestly, but it will be enough to sort of help kick our next rocket a little bit. It's going to be like, what, 2 recon drones, I think? 3 recon drones? Something like that. I don't really know. Come on, you bastards. It's like that weird sort of moment where you're just really hoping that people actually do something, but they don't. Of course they don't. We're going to go ahead and build 1 apartment block just in case. It's not super necessary right now. Like, you sort of wait, but I would like to have it built so I can immediately send another shuttle with people as soon as someone's born. Yeah, back up to 8 and 4. It is actually possible to reduce it by like an extra 30, I think, down to 25 as necessary comfort. I don't find it necessary to ever do that. You would do that by having the doctor as your specialist at the start of the game, and then you have like the medical spire, which is really not necessary. And none of those things are really that necessary. Oh god. Yeah, for each pair, like, it seems to be a fairly low chance, like a 1 in 10 per day. So we've got like a maybe 4. Well, actually, I think it's even less than 1 in 10. It probably is like more like 1 in 20. What the hell is this guy doing? Huh. Oh no, he was depositing. I thought he was loading, unloading sort of thing there. Anyway. Just got random ass bits of metal on the ground because we haven't got the ability to use it all. There's our Mars crowdfunding. Alright, we gotta wait for this guy to arrive so we can get that little bit of money. Then we'll send a thing back to Mars with the recon probes. No one's going to live in here yet because it is less comfortable than the house, so that's perfectly fine. Oh wow, that dropped down to 1 in 3. Looking for a lot of interesting. There must have been someone at night trying to go to the diner, which is kind of interesting. Usually you don't see that happening. Okay, so we need even more electricity here. Especially worried about a little bit at night, since we lose a tiny bit of electricity at night there. But I think that a lot of our buildings only run during the day, so it probably doesn't matter that much. There we go. Funding received, 44 million. Let's go ahead and launch our rocket back, cargo rocket, and just fill it to the brim with orbital probes and see how many we can get here. Alright, so we can get 35 orbital probes, which is pretty good. Launch that back down here, and we'll be able to do lots and lots of scans. Hopefully discover lots of science bonuses, maybe some good anomalies or something like that, or breakthrough techs. Any of those sorts of things would be pretty good for us. God damn it. Oh, no, enthusiast straight. God damn it. Okay, I don't really care about you being enthusiastic. If it's gonna go the whole 10 days and I've done this much to get the birth threshold this good and all that other stuff, I'm gonna be really pissed off, but it does happen. Yeah, oh well. You can also, of course, like, save it as soon as they land, try and get it to happen like immediately. It can happen if you do it that way, but it's really not, it's kind of not that important, honestly. Oops, forgot. So let's go ahead and add in some storage here. Probably have to do 2 dumping sites here. Fall troll if you want to have children. How come none of you are capable of doing it, you bastards? Alright, another scan here. This actually is a pretty good spot, especially for somewhere on the map edge. Having access to that extra bit of rare metal would be pretty good. Might be a good place for another colony, because just more rare metal mines is always actually a pretty good thing in this game. And honestly speaking, it's good in the sense that I can also build loads of colonies in this direction. I kind of want to wait till maybe I've got medium domes before I do that, but that is actually a really good place. Okay. This is the most annoying. The RNG waiting is the most annoying waiting in this game. This and like the meteor swarms where we're hoping for science to drop. It's just like, come on, game, don't screw me over now. And then the game inevitably screws you over now, and you're just like, God, why? I always regret not building like a casino or something like that in these situations where it's just like, I really wish I had that extra tiny bit of like comfort The average is actually 59. That's pretty good. All right, we'll drop you here. This thing's basically irrelevant, but we've got our probes. We're going to start scanning from the top here. Actually, let's start scanning like that. I'm willing to scan some of the stuff that I had queued up there. Okay, so this is quite a lot of good stuff here that we've scanned. Okay, so we'll get more probes later, but you'll see that we've gained a ton of anomalies by doing that, which is pretty good. We'll go ahead and start picking those up there. Produced food, which is pretty nice. Drone heavy load here, that's fine. But yeah, no, that all worked out really, really well for us. Getting this thing fueled up pretty fast, that's good. Low G hydrosynthesis, we can now build some factories. We can get advanced Martian engines, that's actually a really good one. We're gonna go ahead and get that pretty quick here. And I can speed through a bunch more text at this point in time, but like realistically speaking, the one thing I'm really hoping for is not happening. And we've got four days left. Oh, wow, okay, good. God damn, fine. So we have actually got our first colonist born, and that's what we were aiming for and what I was just like so frustrated about. We're going to do the same thing here. We want youths and adults, no middle-aged people. Let's go ahead and hit back here. Specializations, we've got lots of scientists right now, so we don't really need that right now as much. No specialization, we want to actually prioritize that a little bit there. Do want more medics, so we do want that one medic there. Botanist is good, geologist is good. So we'll hit back on that one. Gender, we would rather have more females, in all honesty. So I'm going to prioritize that a little bit. Flaws and quirks, we want to keep that the same. So we'll go ahead and hammer that out. So cool. That worked out really, really nicely. Got plenty of capacity for more people here, and yeah, we'll need to build another dome pretty soon as a result of all this. But I'm pretty okay with that. I think we can do this one, and I think we can do the breakthrough as well here. Probably wait just a little bit longer on that one. I don't need to send it right away. So our asteroids were over here, and you can sort of see the result of it. You can see all these little bits of metal that are kind of just these one things at a time. But the fact that there's like 14, like it probably dropped a total of like 200 metal. I can get $500 million, or I can get 50 more applicants. I'm going to take the money right now, since that's kind of what I need. The applicants is going to replenish itself over time. The money kind of doesn't, so I do find it actually better to get money when you can from those sorts of things. But yeah, we've succeeded at the major goal for what we're attempting to do here. Now that we've done that, I can actually go ahead and schedule that to be a stop work shift so that no one's working at night. What's probably going to happen is he'll probably end up working in here, is my guess. No? No? Where the hell? Oh, he decided to work in the mines. Well, he's not going to be doing much in there, but in any event. Yeah, so the reason that we had this set up at night was that people were more likely to have children, and that does increase the chance by a little bit there. But at this point in time, what we're looking to do is level out this colony so that the specializations are a little bit more filled in. We're producing more food and stuff like that is something I would really love to have happen. So let's take it just sort of checklist at what we were trying to do here. We were trying to shorten the, we're trying to get that first Martian-born achievement to make it so that we can start working stuff a lot faster by getting access to more people, because you don't have enough to work all of the buildings that are going to be in your building at the start of the game here. So by doing this, we do get access to stuff that's important really, really quickly. If we get more people, we can also do, for example, the polymer factory in this place. That's going to make it so that we've got more people working in here, producing stuff for us. That's going to be really important for us in a little bit here, a very, very short period of time. Magnetic extraction has been discovered. That's actually a pretty strong one, but I don't really need it that badly, fortunately. What we want is extractor AI and nano extraction methods, or at least those are the ones I like personally. But yeah, so what we do to make that happen is we make sure that we've got enough amenities that our comfort is at least over 50. As you can see, our comfort, despite the fact that we've got some problems, no gaming, no drinking, no luxury, we don't have those services. We still have enough services to get people to be happy. We got a comfort of 60 in this particular dome here, which is above 55. We wanted to reduce the threshold requirement for comfort to 55, which is what we did with the infirmary. Made sure we had 3 shifts of it. Wanted in particular as well to have like this guy in here as a medic, making it so that's even better. But as we can see, we've got these 3 amenities here, and then we've also got the statue. Here we got the fountain. And those 4 buildings, 5 buildings, if you want to really say it, are going to be enough to keep us, get us this sort of first person born here. What we got here? Aurora 5th. Yeah, you end up with weird names in this game. We have got it set up as well to also have research. Having research coming in faster is usually actually a really good thing. We've got the ability to earn a little bit of money. I'm going to actually move this guy here. Assign you to the research lab. But yeah, so research is really important. The ability to feed your colonists is actually quite good, because we're spending all of our money instead of on anything else right now. We're primarily spending it on recon probes, and then using bits of money wherever we can get it to buy minute polymers and stuff like that. But wherever we can, we want to be producing our own polymers and machine parts and stuff like that. And to do that, you need more people, and you get more people by making sure that first person is being born here. And once you've done that, you can sort of slow off on the childbirth, because you can just ship loads and loads of people from Earth to Mars and have them sort of flood your population as best as you can there. Got 3 metals in Vega 1 here. I'm going to go ahead and launch it. So here we go. More people, more colonists on Mars. They're going to flood their way in here. And now that we've got 24 people living here, you can really see, like, we've got an infirmary. Apparently we didn't get another medic, which is unfortunate. Our grocer and our diner are now appropriately people who have no specializations here. This place is full, which is really, really good. This place is full, which is really, really good. This place is basically full. We can add another work shift there if I want to, and that's going to be good. So yeah, like we've got a fantastic amount of workers here able to sort of fill in all of these jobs. We don't have enough people of the correct specializations necessarily, but we're producing, for example, 408 science now, which is way more than we were producing before. We're producing 3.8 production per day of metals, which is really good compared to what we were doing before. Our farm is going to be way more productive than it was before because it's now full. And a lot of these places have got that workplace specialization that's going to make them much, much better at producing stuff here. So not only that, but we're also going to be getting more people being born here. Water reclamation spire, not too important, but we did want to get it. So in any event, though, that's pretty much everything I needed to talk about for this particular episode. This is what our main objective is for this this part of the game. And we've managed to accomplish it 5 days ahead of time, 4.5 days ahead of time, which is really, really good. Get this second rocket in with all these people, and also to get that big scan job done that we did. Available funding is now 804 million again. We just keep getting more and more as we research text, of course, which is sort of how Europe works. If you're not playing as Europe, then you'll have a different process of doing something like that. I feel almost like I want to do nocturnal adaptation and make everyone work at night, but let's not do that just yet. Let's instead get the Stirling engine generator instead. But yeah, so at this point in time, our next goal is going to be just expanding out, building another dome, and getting all our factories up and running, because factories is going to be the next big important thing for us. The ability to self-sustain without having to constantly buy stuff from Earth is going to be our big goal. Polymers first is going to be the easiest one since we've got the tech for it already, and it's the easiest one to gain access to regardless. And of course also the fact that we want to be able to produce machine parts, which is going to be a tech that we don't have yet necessarily, but once we research that one, that's going to be a very, very important element of what we're doing here. So in any event, that's our episode for today. Hope you found this one enjoyable, and of course, as always, hope to see you guys all next time.